I'm going to show you some very smart design tweaks that you need to be using in 2025 to make your already decent projects that much more effective. Let's go ahead and totally flip the script. So normally, hierarchy says make the focal point big, the body medium, the fine print small. Classic, safe, predictable, and useful in most cases. But sometimes breaking that expectation creates a moment, a situation that you can use. Say you're designing a music festival poster, or just about anything really. Instead of the headline being the act's name, what if a legal disclaimer, something that would typically be boring like little terms at the bottom, is set to be big, dead center, bold? So something like an 18 only event, or terms and conditions and so on. It's ironic, it's jarring, and yes, it draws you in. You feel something, and this is just a quick and a crude example of course. And I likely do prefer the first design aesthetically pleasing a tiny bit more, but the important thing here is to understand the concept I'm talking about. This is inverted hierarchy. It creates tension by breaking the natural order of a design, only when it's done on purpose and the brief allows for it to happen. It is like dropping a whisper in the middle of a loud song. It makes the audience stop and take notice. So the question arises, when do we actually use this as a graphic designer? Well, you can use this to highlight fine details that deserve attention. You can flip the visual weight when you want the viewer to feel unsettled, provoked, or just plain curious. Graphic design is a lot about rhythm, and in a big way, spatial rhythm. Let's say you've got a large image block top left of your poster with 60 pixels of a margin top and left. Now further down in the layout, you've got a quote block. Try echoing that 60 pixel margin top and left again down here. The viewer doesn't know what you did, but they feel it. This is a spatial echo. It's when you repeat spacing from one part of your layout in a totally separate area, and it creates this kind of subconscious structure, like the design is actually breathing in tempo. Now, another example would be to imagine that you're working on a record vinyl sleeve cover design. The artist's name is spaced exactly 40 pixels from the bottom on the front cover. But flipping things over to the back cover, instead of guessing your spacing for the track list, use the same 40 pixels from the top for the title, and then we can double up that 40 pixels to make 80 pixels for the song name after the title. No lines needed, no rules, just a repetition. And this is harmony through invisible rhythm. And then of course at the bottom, a logo or a motif can be 40 pixels from that bottom edge. You put in hours perfecting a design, high-res files, brand assets, invoices, and so on. It's all part of the process, right? But here's the thing. Do you know who else might be watching what you're doing? Picture this. You're grinding away at a cafe, airport, maybe a co-working space, and the client wants changes right now. So you send over the files, maybe log into your accounts, or even make a payment. That seems pretty normal, right? But public Wi-Fi, that's free real estate for hackers. Without protection, your projects, your passwords, and even your payment details are basically wide open for anyone with the right tools. And that is where Surfshark VPN comes in to save the day. It locks down your connection with encryption, meaning your designs, your contracts, and sensitive information stays yours, not someone else's. No data leaks, no stolen files, just essentially peace of mind. But here's the kicker. It's not just about security. With one Surfshark account, you can protect unlimited devices. So your laptop, your phone, your tablet, your entire workflow stays safe, no matter where you work. Plus, it even alerts you the moment your email ID or credit card information gets leaked online. The best part is you can get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can try Surfshark VPN for yourself, see if it works into your day-to-day life and fits into your workflow. And if it doesn't, then you get a full refund. And to check out Surfshark, head over to surfshark.com/Satori Graphics, and you can use my code Satori Graphics at the checkout to get 4 extra months to Surfshark VPN. And that is, of course, to keep your work secure with Surfshark. If everything's feeling a bit heavy on your design, nothing will hit properly to your audience or to the client. Sometimes a poster or editorial spread is jammed with big names, bold type, high energy, and as a consumer of this design, your brain will get tired. Enter the cognitive relief zone. This can be a low-density section on your layout. Maybe it's a warm grey block. Maybe it's just a soft type and empty space. And the job here is to give the mind a space to breathe. It helps reset visual energy so the next loud moment hits a bit harder. And a pro tip here is that relief zones don't mean white space. They mean intentional calm. So you can use warm tones, soft structure, a limited contrast. It's the visual version of silence in music. This gives your design some pacing, and it is truly a power move, a powerful skill to have as a graphic designer. There's a saying that I like to keep in mind. Design once, test 4 times after. Too many designers only test their work at full size, but typography, layout, and balance change when scale changes. So here's the move. Pick 4 checkpoints. It could be 1920, 768, 280, and 64. Now test your design in those sizes. You might notice that at smaller scales, tight letter spacing collapses, thin fonts vanish, margin spacing feels exaggerated or cramped. And this is how you can train your eye to think dynamically. It doesn't matter if it's a poster or a magazine cover. People will see it on screenshots, thumbnails, zoomed in, printed out, you name it, it will be seen in that way. And it's your job to make it hold up in those situations. When someone is scanning text on a design, the eye naturally desires or searches out for kind of landmarks along the way. Try this. Choose 2 or 3 keywords in a paragraph and give them just a touch of styling. Maybe increase the weight slightly or increase the size by 3 to 5%, or you can shift the colors a notch or a lot. This creates micro movement. Their eye stutters slightly when it hits these words or the word, and this increases engagement. It doesn't feel like a highlight as such, it feels like a pulse. And this will do 2 main things. Firstly, it will keep people on your design longer, and secondly, it creates rhythm and flow for them to carry on through your text on your design. And this works amazingly well for editorial spreads, poetry books, spoken word posters, or packaging that includes a lot of storytelling and lots of text. It gives you rhythm inside the body copy, like a beat between the lines, as such. And I'm going to stop the music-based analogies right now. But if you want to hear some more techniques and to level up your skills as a graphic designer, simply just click that video on screen. Until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.